Okay, Shavuot Tov, we are learning our section of Tanya. Okay, so we were last learning about the Kedushas Mitzvah, the idea of being a Merkava, chariot, bottle to the Ratzon Eliyahu. And BORUCH, now we're going to learn about Torah, from mitzvahs to Torah. Good stuff. So let's see what our holy brother on chapter 23, Perek 23, says about learning Torah. Shmuel Diamond in b'nai-aliyah.com. The oneness that the soul experiences with Hashem through Torah study is not like body and soul. It is true merging, for Torah and Hashem are one. Unlike the mitzvahs that are described as the limbs of the king. Unlike creation that conceals Hashem's will, hest upon him. Torah reveals his will. The Torah is Hashem's will and wisdom, and is too big to be contained within creation, so with Kolam, except by means of it being learned and performed by Klal Yisrael. This is why learning Torah is called the greatest mitzvah, even more than tefillah. It's interesting because there we're learning about Moshe Rabbeinu, and it said that tefillah, or Ma'asim Tovim, what's greater, and it said that his tefillah was greater. So even though apparently he was big in Ma'asim Tovim, Moshe Rabbeinu like the greatest, but his tefillah was even greater. So here we're talking about Torah. Now we talked about in Bresov and other Chassidus Shirim about bringing together tefillah and Torah to learn your davening and daven your learning. And here we're talking about specifically Talmud Torah. And the Alter Rebbe has thus far discussed two levels of union with divine will. One analogous to the chariot and its rider, and the second to the unity of the body and soul. Both these levels of unity are achieved by performing the mitzvahs. He now goes on to describe a third and higher level of unity that is achieved through the study of Torah. So we have body and soul by performing mitzvahs. Now there's a higher level of unity through the study, the limit of Torah. With the thought and meditation of the words of the Torah, which is accomplished in the brain, and its power of speech, which is in the mouth, which is the most innermost garments of the divine soul, and thus close to the soul itself than the faculty of action, the external garment. And solely the divine soul itself. Good week, Shavuot Tov. And this divine soul itself, which is clothed in them, in the thought and speech and gained in Talmud Torah. Kulam yuchadim mamish biyuchad gomo b'rotzon Eliyahu. Lo merkava b'lovad. All of them are infused in perfect unity with the divine will, and not merely a vehicle, a chariot for it. So it's a higher level of unity than the chariot and the rider, the merkava. There's even a higher level yichud. It's called a perfect unity. That the two become one and the same. Unlike, for example, unity of body and soul, which retain their separate identity. So the rider is still the rider and the chariot is still the chariot. The merkava is not completely unified. Whereas with Torah you become unified, the gamre. Even when they're joined together and form one unit. An example of perfect unity is found in the unity of the soul with its faculties which are part of it, and thus completely united with it. In the same way, the divine soul and its faculty of speech and thought unite with the divine will when one thinks, speaks, of matters of Torah. The Alter Rebbe now goes and explains how Torah study is able to affect this level of unity. Let's go. The divine will is identical with the halakhic subject of which one thinks and speaks, which is Shakol halachis hein pratiam shachis penimis rotzon Eliyahu atzmo. All the laws of halakha are particular expressions of the innermost divine will itself. For God willed it, thus a particular thing is deemed to be muta or kosher, or pata or zaka. So whether it's permissible or kosher, or pata exempt, or zakai or innocent, or the reverse, lahifech. So therefore, you can eat something, or you can do something. You're allowed. It's no longer an aveira, this thing. So this kind of clarity that comes from learning halakha is the divine will, and it's a unity of the divine will. which surpasses even the unity of body and soul. You do it who mother. So all the letter combinations of the Tanakh, Torah, Nevi'im, Kesuvim, the Chumash and the prophets and the holy writings are also expressions of God's will, and are united with the blessed Ein Sof in perfect unity, since He is the knower, the knowledge, and the subject is known. So when someone learns Tanakh, he becomes unified. The Bible, as they say in English, becomes unified with divine will and wisdom, which are absolutely one with Hashem Himself. We're talking about the Torah Bible, 24 books. Kaf Daled Takshitim. The difference between two levels of unity which achieve through Torah and mitzvah can be covered following analogy. So a king orders his servants to build a palace for him and draws up a detailed blueprint for him. When they carry out his wishes, they unite with his desire and expressed in the palace. However, the palace walls do not represent the king's will and wisdom, but the blueprint does, and the architects who study are actually involved in the study of the king's will and wisdom. So too, in our case, the actual performance of the mitzvahs, although dictated by Hashem's will, does not actually constitute His will. Not so the wisdom of Torah, which is itself Hashem's will, and the halakhic rulings are actually expressions of His will. Unless one speaks of, thinks, or words of Torah, attains the greatest possible level of unity of Achdus, which is one with His will and wisdom. We learn this already in the Zohar. Lo avin demalka lachud ka fikudon. As we said from Shmuel Diamond, he got it from here. They are not merely organs of the king, as are the mitzvahs. So you're not being united with just the levushim or the arms and legs, or however you would understand it, the body. Your mind is becoming absorbed in absolute oneness. Now, since the divine will, which is in perfect unity with God Himself, stands, and the will and divine soul in its inner garments, its full speech, while a person can't exercise with time on Torah, so when we're learning and osek and simis, we've mentioned this concept of being osek. It's like when someone's involved, they're all in, they're totally engaged, like with business. Like right now, one of the things my son loves about being an Azar, which we dedicate our learning always to his Shmirah, MASHA, and all the soldiers, is when he's there, he's all in. He's totally engaged and focused. Comes out the army, and life, the way the world is now for young men, is very distracting, and it's actually harder for him in some ways to fully focus and be all in. And if he has his job, it's a bit better, and he's comes to daven and learn, but still, it's very distracting. The world, the new generation of kids are very highly distracted by technology and by all kinds of pulls. And in this way, when he's in the army, he's totally focused and all in. So it's when you're learning, it's complete absorption. When you learn in a way where you're osek, it's like more than your business. Like your mind's fully engaged. It follows at that time the soul and these garments of thought and speech are also truly united with God. We need to compare that the God's speech and thought of His essence, as explained above. For nothing is separate from God except in far as His countenance is concealed. So there's no such thing as separate from Hashem, because everything is one. Hashem Echad. We just said that in the Krishma and also in Parshas Veschanan. Hashem Echad, very important. The Yuchad of Hashem. And this means that the only way that a person feels separate is through concealment, not through real separation. Moreover, the unity of divine soul, Torah is even more exalted, more powerful than the unity of Hashem's infinite light with the upper spiritual worlds. Again, for asukim b'Torah. In this week's Parshat Ekev, there's a big emphasis on panasa and gavura, pachad YITZCHAK, the idea of work, being osek. But here you see that the Balatonim and the Shemaim, where we're holding It's in terms of the chitas, we're in right now Shirat, the 22nd of Shirat. And Baruch Hashem, once again a shout out to David Jerome and his chitas class every day. You can learn up to date where they're holding in Tanya right now, which is today is Yud Av. We're just Erev TuBav, which is actually my engagement anniversary, 23 years, unbelievable. And we're going to Chosna, Min Hashamayim, celebrate, and then I'll take my wife out the next day as well, celebrate. Without going off too much of a tangent, the concept of TuBav is all about yichudim, it's all about unifications. And this is something which we all need to work on in our marriage, in learning, is in our Avos Yisrael, is the idea of the yichud, the unity inspires. That's my whole focus, unity bookings, unity projects. We just put up a beautiful video of Shulem Lema singing A Million Dreams, giving us hope. Speaking first about Rosh Shlomo's Neshama and about how we have a nitzos of the original Rosh Shlomo Kalibach here. But then he goes on to sing a beautiful rendition of a song from the secular, or whatever we call it, secular, from the world out there. I've forgotten the name of the movie. A great performer or something. I've forgotten the name, but it was some Hollywood movie. And we have this opportunity to miyachid ourselves, even in that place, through the soul of someone like Shulem Lema, who takes his music and elevates the music back to its shorish, back to its root, through singing to Hashem, singing with his soul. You feel the passion, and just put it up. I'll put the link in the description so you can experience the beauty of that song. One of the concepts that comes out from that movie and that song, and that's why High Lifeline performed it together with Shulem Lema and some young person, the idea that we always have to keep dreaming, always have to keep hopeful, and understand if Hashem Echad, and if we put the work in, we're all in, we're osek, like Shulem sings it with his whole heart. That's how we'll be much true success, not this superficial success. True success comes from being totally engaged, totally unified as a people, unified in your work, unified in your learning, to be present, to be mindful, to experience life to the fullest in our davening. This is something we can aspire for, but the place where it takes place in the most revealed sense, in the most deepest level, our minds become one with Hashem's mind, Kivyahu. This is in learning Torah. So he says, since it's identical with the Torah being studied. So all the supernal worlds receive their vitality by way of the light and his life derived from the Torah, which is Hashem's will. Wisdom, as it's written, Hashem made the world through wisdom. Wisdom is how he made them all. It's the source of vitality of all the world, Chochmah. So we learn out from this that Hashem's wisdom, Hashem's Chochmah, and we've been learning in Kutim Aron, Chochmah Elikus. This is the Torah that transcends them all. This is what we have to fill ourselves up with. Check out that previous class in the Kutim Aron, Chochmah Elikus versus the mind virus of Chochmah Chitzonis, external Chochmah. Very important point, and we're going to be going weiter with that in the Kutim Aron class. One of the beautiful things making a yichud between all the Torahs of the tzaddikim brings us to a much deeper understanding of all the different ways of connecting to Hashem. Just got to check, I have a lift coming soon. Hashem, I'm going to go out in a moment. We'll just finish off here, and hopefully we'll be back with our Choshev Chavrusa. He's back in the country, we just need to make the Chavrusa happen. He who Ratzani Yisbarach Nikra Soviv Kolamin. She bechinas ma shein yochelis bush b'toch halamin rak b'chai ma'el amala bechinas makiv. In fact, the Torah, God's will, is described as encompassing all the worlds, meaning at a level that cannot become clothed in the world, but rather animates and illuminates them. Is a transcending and encompassing manner. And its level which transcends all the world is clothed in a truly revealed form in one's soul and his soul's garments, and he studies Torah. And even though he does not see it when one studies Torah, he has unable to consciously experience the unity of the soul, yet his soul feels it. In fact, this is precisely why he can endure such unity with God, precisely because he cannot feel it. Unlike the supernal worlds, God is not obscure as in this world. They cannot be therefore endure such unity. So if we truly experience, like we did at Kabbalah Torah, our souls would fly out like we did then. We'd have the ultimate yichud, where we'd just become one again with Hashem. So what Hashem does is He allows it to be experienced on a soul level. Once again, read my Sefer United Souls. I put out the link below in the extracts, and you'll see there the importance of connecting more and more to the soul level of neshama, of your essence. I want to thank everyone for joining me, whoever listens in. I've had some very positive feedback about this weekly Chabad learning. I'd like to do it more. Just need, once again, more involvement. And Mr. Hashem will keep up learning Torah, the importance of Torah learning, the yichud, the absolute unity. It's fundamental to creation, and we have to make it a kavir, fixed part of Ekev, Lashon Ekev. This week's Parsha says in the Balaturim, Ekevs, we have to make it kavir, we have to fix it into our schedule, fix it into our heart. Yeah, the same amount of letters in the Luchas is the word Ekev, which is also kavar. We have to fix it into our heart, into our luach libecha, into our heart, the Holy Torah, by learning it and experiencing the achdus that it creates. And with that, we'll be zocher to bring it Hashem Echad, Shema Echad. Have a beautiful week, and happy TuBav, and good luck finding your soulmate. And when you're with her, becoming one.